things that stand out. Now, team leaders that are on the call, I want you to know, generally speaking, what I'm looking for. I'm looking for effort first, and then performance second. If they're not trying, it doesn't matter that they're great, they're not trying, right? Like, so if they're not actually making calls, as an example, or sending texts or anything like that, then that's an effort problem, and that's a conversation that needs to be had. You can only have it so many times until you're like, hey, do you just want to go do something else? Like, this doesn't seem like you want to work here. And then after you get them to try, then there's a measure of failure that they experience because they're calling people and they're getting hung up on or told no, or I'm not ready yet. And then that's really what the last 6 weeks have been about. Teaching people on the assumption that you are going to work. Effort, and then we look at performance. When we look at performance, we're looking at conversations to appointments. Are when you talk to people, are those resulting in an appointment of some kind? If they're not, that's a training opportunity, right? Like, let me teach you how to change the way you're talking to people so that you can create enough value around the conversation right now for them to be like, this is not a waste of my time. Sure, Barry, I'd love to meet with you and discuss insert blank, right? So effort results in conversations. Good conversations result in appointments. And then the appointments, you're meeting with people, right? Well, are those appointments going from like warm stage to hot stage? Is there a progression of growth within the relationship to where you're nurturing the person in a way that is collaborative? What I mean by that is you met with them and you go back to the office and you're like, guys, I met with one of the radar seller leads. This is awesome. And then like 30 days later, we're like, how did that lead go? Oh yeah, we're still waiting. Well, when's the last time you spoke to him? Oh, it's been about a month. Like, okay, so that's not good, right? If you think they're listing soon, you need to have a strategy to continue to talk to these people. And so that's the last piece. And the only way to really do that, other than for me to say you should be doing this, is to kind of examine a couple of accounts and us just as a group to walk through. How can I come alongside this client and like make the process easier? And then by making it easier, them speeding up, I'm more motivated by like, gosh, they were so nice. I really don't want to mess this up. Like, I finally got somebody that like talked to me for 10 minutes and I don't want to piss them off. And so we leave them alone out of fear of messing it up, when actually we should be more motivated. And I've said this in some of the trainings, we should be more motivated by serving people and educating people and empowering them. That should be what we're motivated by, not getting them to like us. If my service and my desire to serve them well and empower them and educate them and strongly recommend meeting to go over it, if my serving them scares them off, let them go. Like, let them go. Holding on to these like fake friendships of leads that were nice to us every time we call is a complete waste of their time and yours. And honestly, if we're being honest, it's really about our ego. We finally got somebody to like us. My emotional need to feel accepted was met today because Johnny answered the phone and wasn't rude to me. Screw that, right? Like, who cares? We don't need fake friends. We are here.
An agent where like they go to an appointment and they come back and like, oh, that person's my best friend. They're definitely going to list with me. And then they go and list with somebody else, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jim knows I'm going to go into it, but the biggest thing is because I've been spending a lot of time, with Jim Hoffman's team, just, trying to understand from lead to appointment, what's going on with a lot of these leads, right? And from appointment, now that they've got an appointment, and just so everybody knows, Hannah and Jackson, who've been on this call, have probably talked a little bit. They are some newer agents to this. And so we are going through a lot of this strategy with them based on, their prospecting time, when to dedicate to their prospecting time. And then now the biggest thing is understanding their pipeline when they brought those leads into their name, as well as with like somebody like Jim, right? Jim, guys, does a lot for his team based on lead, taking on the first lead and then passing lead out to the team, right? But what we're trying to do and get away from that is that everybody on the team can prospect themselves, get to the point of asking for appointments themselves, and then be able to follow up with their pipeline as well, so that Jim can follow up with his pipeline, and that he's not just starting conversations to start them and then not following up with them long term, right? And so something that I want to show you guys that that I like to dive into a little bit is to understand first off the tag